As the 2023 F1 season gets underway, teams are already working hard to gain an edge over their rivals. One area that has seen significant development this year is the floor's edge, as regulation changes have forced teams to make adjustments to their solutions. In particular, Red Bull's unique floor edge design has caught the attention of fans and experts alike, as the team looks to maintain its top speed advantage in the face of fierce competition. Let's take a closer look at how Red Bull's rivals are pushing to keep up. It's hard to deny that Max Verstappen is an absolute beast on the racetrack. His impressive ability to outmaneuver his competitors on the straights has put immense pressure on his rivals to step up their game and improve the efficiency of their cars and wings to reduce drag for the 2023 season. One of Verstappen's biggest competitors, Mercedes, has been having a tough time with their draggy W13. It was clear that they needed to make a significant leap in this area to compete with Verstappen's Red Bull team. However, things didn't look too promising for the team during the pre-season test in Bahrain, as they were still lagging behind their competitors in terms of speed. But upon closer inspection, it became clear that their rivals had opted for medium downforce packages, and even experimented with some of their lower downforce assemblies. In contrast, Mercedes decided to stick with their high downforce rear wing for the entire test, a tactic they had previously used last year until a more streamlined version was introduced in Miami. Now, it's no secret that the Mercedes team is known for being strategic and calculated in their approach to racing. So it's interesting to see them taking such a bold move with their high downforce wing, especially when their rivals are going for a lower downforce approach. It's a risky move, but one that could potentially pay off big time if they manage to improve their drag reduction and get ahead of the competition. Clearly, they're aware that sticking to their high downforce wing tactic would only result in losing out to the competition, and so they're taking steps to improve their drag reduction and increase their speed. The new wing design might look familiar, especially when compared to those of other teams. However, you'd have to go back a few years to find the last time Mercedes used a spoon-shaped rear wing design. This design was part of a suite of rear wing solutions that the team used during the early stages of their successful period from 2015 to 2018. So what makes the spoon-shaped wing design so effective? Well, it's all about finding the right balance between downforce and drag reduction. The central, deeper portion of the wing produces the necessary downforce, while the outer, shorter chord portion of the wing blends with the end plate to reduce drag. This results in a wing that not only offers good downforce but also low drag, allowing the car to achieve high speeds without sacrificing performance. One interesting thing to note is that the new Mercedes design bears some similarities to Red Bull's wing, with both teams opting to expose the underbelly of the wing to the oncoming flow. This is a tactic often used in higher downforce wings and could be a sign that Mercedes is trying to strike a balance between downforce and drag reduction to compete with their rival. When it comes to designing a rear wing for a Formula One car, even the smallest details can make a big difference. Take Mercedes' new lower downforce rear wing for the 2023 season, for example. It may look similar to their previous designs, but upon closer inspection, there are some notable differences. One interesting detail is the thicker surface on the leading edge of the upper flap until it meets with the tip section. This feature is intended to improve the wing's performance by controlling the airflow over it. Additionally, the cutout in the upper rear corner of the end plate has returned to help control the tip vortex. Another noteworthy feature of the new wing is its interchangeable panel section. This allows Mercedes to make quick changes to adjust how the wing performs, which could be crucial in determining the optimal setup for each circuit. However, there's always a trade-off when it comes to deciding on the amount and type of wing to use at each circuit. Using a lower downforce wing may result in gains on the straights, but it could lead to losses through the corners. Ultimately, the decision comes down to what is quicker over the course of a lap, while also considering how much of an impact that choice has over the course of a race stint, with tire degradation a crucial factor in those decisions. During practice sessions leading up to the race, Mercedes was still trying to quantify the performance of their new wing versus their high downforce rear wing. George Russell's W14 was fitted with the high downforce wing, while Lewis Hamilton's car was equipped with the new design. It wasn't until the numbers fell in favor of the new design that both drivers took to qualifying and the race with it mounted on their cars. Ferrari's single-pillar rear wing test. Ferrari is definitely keeping things interesting with their back-to-back comparisons of two different rear wing specifications during pre-season testing. The newer version has undergone several changes, not just to the shape of the mainplane and upper flap, but also in the end plate's tip section. However, the most notable change is the switch from a double mounting pillar arrangement to a single pillar. During the early stages of free practice, Ferrari briefly mounted the single pillar version on their car to gather more data ahead of its probable introduction in Saudi Arabia. It was a bit of a wild ride, as the wing appeared to flex quite a bit at the pillar, but the team is committed to testing it again. What's really interesting about this test is that it highlights the trade-offs of each solution. It's not just a matter of choosing one rear wing over the other. The design differences between the two specifications mean that one may be better for certain circuits, while the other may be better for different situations. It's a balancing act that Ferrari is determined to perfect. Ferrari's single-pillar rear wing test is an intriguing development to keep an eye on in the 2023 season. The team's pre-season testing run plan included back-to-back comparisons of two rear wing specifications, and the newer one has undergone numerous changes, including a shift from a double mounting pillar arrangement to a single pillar. This single pillar design, although bulkier, has been created to withstand extra load and requires a crescent-shaped mounting that enables it to wrap around the exhaust. Another significant change is the swan neck arrangement, where the single-element pillar meets with the DRS pod. In contrast, the twin pillars intersect with the underside of the mainline, having both physical and aerodynamic consequences on the wing's central portion. Interestingly, Ferrari has also adopted a small aero trick, inspired by the Alfa Romeo team. The newer specification rear wing flaunts teardrop-shaped flap pivots that are skewed relative to the center line. All of these design differences will undoubtedly have an impact on the trade-offs between the two specifications of the rear wing, and the team is committed to trialing it again. During early stages of free practice, the single-pillar version was mounted on the car briefly, and while it appeared to flex a lot at the pillar, Ferrari remains optimistic about its introduction in Saudi Arabia. Red Bull tweaks its floor. If there's one thing we can expect to see a lot of in the 2023 F1 season, it's development. And one area that is already getting a lot of attention is the floor's edge. This is partly due to the fact that it was a hot topic last year, but also because new regulations have forced teams to make some adjustments to their designs. Red Bull, being one of the most innovative teams in the paddock, has already made some significant changes to its floor edge solution. In fact, it stands out not only from last year's design, but also from those of its rivals. The rear section of the elongated edge wing may look familiar, as it bears some similarities to designs we've seen on the Mercedes and McLaren. But it's the forward section of the floor and the edge wing that really sets it apart. Red Bull has contorted the edge wing into a twisted C-shaped profile which sits above a similarly shaped floor edge and cutout. The two surfaces are slightly askew of one another, and they're cranked upwards to form a pair of winglets on either side of the cutout. It's an interesting solution, and one that we'll be keeping a close eye on as the season progresses. It's always fascinating to see how different teams interpret the rules and come up with their own solutions. And with the new regulations, we're likely to see even more variety in designs this season. It'll be exciting to see which teams come out on top and which ones are left playing catch-up. If you have reached this far, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and press the notification bell so you may not miss any future updates. See you in another video. Until then, take care. Do tell us your views in the comments section.